Okay, well, we're gonna get started. So just starting laying on your back in a comfortable place. So whether that's with props or not, you can have your feet extended like you're in a shavasana, or you're welcome to butterfly your legs, or even just plant your feet. And just starting here as a place to create some room for yourself within this practice. The Yin practice is so inviting in offering us a chance to connect inwards and to invite us to slow down, to step outside of the busy habits and just simply step into a moment. Notice what's around you here. And tap into this space that surrounds you. Perhaps even just finding gratitude for the most simplest of things: a roof over your head, a ground beneath you, a community, whether that's within your same household or even here just online. Gratitude for your very breath. As you tap into gratitude, you allow yourself to be in a space where you have enough and you are enough. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill up your lungs and even allow your belly to lift. And then exhale, just let your body drop down, heavier. Feel the lightness of your inhale. And the safety and security of your exhale. Take 3 more breaths. Just with this really gentle, graceful rhythm of your body. Just gently start to tip your chin side to side, rocking the back of your head on your mat. Like you're bringing yourself deeper and deeper through your mat, through the earth. Feel the length through the sides of your neck. And the next time that your chin comes up through center, pause. Bring your arms overhead and just take a nice, big, good evening stretch. Reach through your fingertips, maybe even point through your toes as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just soften into your joints, but you can keep this elongated shape. Take 1 more breath just like that. Inhale to extend and expand. And exhale to release. bend into your knees. Bring your knees to your chest, arms wrap around tops of your shins or backs of your hamstrings. It might feel nice to just gently rock side to side. You can create circles with your knees. You can circle your ankles if you're creating movement. Really just gently slowing your body down so that when we come into this first pose, we can land ourselves in stillness. Gently release the grip of your knees and plant your feet onto your mat. Bring your hands down beside you and then press into your feet and pick your hips up and over to the left side. Now this is where props, blocks, pillows may come in handy. So bring your pillows over to the right, extend your right leg long, and then bring your right hand to your left knee and start to guide your knee across your body to land onto a stack of pillows or towels. Now, if one leg straight feels like a lot of twist in your lower back or a lot of sensation in your left hip, you can always come back through center, bend both knees, and drop both knees over to the right. You can kind of choose how much sensation that you need by how much depth you take. And starting with twist tonight, to just bring out our body from our day, to create the space to be able to gracefully glide through this practice, rather than feeling like we're coming to a stop, start, stop, start. Energetically twist, activate our stomach chakra, which is connected to our right to be and to act. Imagine your body as a saturated dishcloth, saturated from all the things you've ever been told about yourself, all the things that people have said to you, all of the ways in which you've spoken to yourself. Imagine that you are holding each and every one of these words. As you twist, now imagine that you're wringing out that dishcloth and allowing all of the words that don't land with you, that don't serve you, that don't hold a place in this moment, to just release. Bringing out anything that is no longer us so that we can show up in this practice with authenticity and with space to just be who we are. Let go of any heaviness that's been weighing on you. Just let anything that you don't need for this practice spring and drip out. Starting to desaturate your body. Creating more space for your mind. Take 3 more breaths in your twist. And then just as you would start to unring your cloth, allow your body to slowly fold back open. Your left knee starts to lift away from the earth. Now plant your left foot onto the ground, knee stays bent. And then allow your knee to just gently sway out to the side in a reclined tree shape. If this feels like too much for your left hip flexor or hip, just grab a block or even a pillow and place it underneath that knee to support. Hands can land over top of your belly or overhead. And just feel the release into the front line of your body. That twists are a bit of effort, a little bit of contraction. Even when you think about wringing out a cloth, it's a gripping to a degree. And then as you just ungrip or loosen your hands, the cloth just naturally unravels itself to this place of being open, but no longer saturated. You can drop the masks, the layers, the pieces of yourself you don't need to hold, so that you can be closer to the gracefulness of your inhales and your exhales. Notice how your breath moves without being forced. That there's not that start-stop to the breath. It just fluidly moves from one side of the breath to the other. Can you allow this rhythm and momentum to saturate your whole being in a way that you just start to embody this ease of this moment? Any thoughts that come up, you just simply allow them to ease back up. When you start to feel stuck, you just come back to this gentle rhythm of your breath. Gently bring your left hand to the outer edge of your bent leg and help to guide your knee up through center. Slide your right heel in and bring both knees into your chest. You can just give yourself a gentle hug. Any movement that you're craving is always welcome in these transitions. Gently release the soles of your feet down. Hands come down beside you to help. press into your feet and your hands to lift your hips up and over to the right this time. Straighten out your left leg. Move your props over to the left side. And then right knee draws in and opposite hand connects to knee to bring your right knee across your body. Again, if this feels like it's pulling in the lower back or it's pulling across your right hip, you're always welcome to bend both knees and take both knees over to the left in this variation as well. On this side of the twist, I want you to imagine the saturation coming from not these labels that you've put on yourself as a person, but the expectations of how you should act, of the things that you feel like you need to do that perhaps you're not doing, or the not enoughs. The saturation you feel of always playing catch up, or of needing that next best thing to feel okay. The ways in which you're not meeting expectation and the heaviness that that holds on you. With shadow work, we need to first become acquainted with those darker parts of ourselves, with the heavier parts that we're lugging around, like a bag of suitcase that just doesn't want to fit through the doors that we're trying to walk through. Because if we don't know that we're holding all of this, we'll never release our grip on it. And so just noticing if there's this saturation that you've been feeling lately of overwhelm, of busyness, of whatever perhaps you just feel full of that's not serving you. Bring it out in this twist. As you exhale, sink in towards your core. Allow your belly to compress and press the air out of your lungs and out through your throat. Allow your inhale to fill you up with a little bit of tension of the twist. And then exhale to just empty out again. Let go of the shoulds or shouldn'ts or could haves. And can you simply just sit with your right to be as you are in this moment? Notice what is coming up that might be restricting your ability to let go. And just notice. And just simply become aware so that you can start to let go of that too. Knowing that this is a safe place to just be as you are and know that you are loved and supported and enough without having to act or to do, just simply showing up. Gently, you can start to unwind back through center, bringing your right knee in towards the midline of your mat. Plant your right foot down, and then just allow your right knee to slide out to the side and recline true. Soften into your glutes. Relax the front line of your body. And it should almost feel like a gentle unfolding. You so easily and fluidly just simply land here. When you think about the qualities of being graceful, there's a lightness to it, an effortlessness. And how can we ever expect to be light and to gently dance through life if we're carrying so much heaviness or baggage? And whenever I feel like I'm coming to a stop-start moment or a plethora of them, I like to imagine just simply standing at a door and holding on to that suitcase that is just bursting at the seams. It is so full. And no matter how hard I try to get through that door, that suitcase will just not fit. And there are two choices: to continue to push and to try and to force, hoping that maybe someday you'll squeeze through, or to simply release your grip of the handle and leave whatever it is that you've been carrying with you behind and just take a step forward to that open doorway just waiting for you. To let go of the heaviness and step into the flow of your life. Gently, you can bring your right hand to the outer edge of your right knee and start to lift your knee up through center. Slide your left heel in. You can shift your hips into the middle of your mat. And then this time, walk your feet wide and drop your knees over to the left and over to the right. Using this as a rinsing of your hips, of your lower back, of any staleness or tension that you're holding. If you need to bring your knees into your chest or extend out, you're welcome to take any other transition. And slowly coming back through center, you can heel toe your feet in and roll yourself over to your right hand side for fetal position. Head will rest heavy into your right bicep. Close down your eyes. Just give yourself this moment to pause. That life isn't always about doing, but sometimes just being in a moment. And naturally to do will cause this stickiness where something ends and then we need to start again. But to simply be just follows the natural flows and cycles and rhythms. Trust that your life, even throughout this practice, will just move naturally. In and out, within and without, around. Just trust your breath to follow its rhythm. When you're ready, gently press yourself up to a tabletop. And I'm a big believer in Yin of taking movement in between poses. So you're welcome to flush out your spine like you just did your hips, to bring your hips side to side or to cat-cow. Just make sure whatever movement you're taking is nourishing for your body. And eventually this movement will lead you into a child's pose where you can take your big toes together and knees wide. Now I actually really love the restorative variation of child's pose. So if you have a bolster or you have a couple of pillows, you can actually stack them underneath your belly, chest, or even your cheek. And it just gives you a bit of a softer place to land. In this variation, you would bring one cheek to the ground, arms kind of like a hug around your pillow. For those of you that feel a lot of tension in your knees in this shape, you can always bring pillows behind your hamstrings, behind your knees, and you can fold them up if you need a little bit more support. Don't be afraid to take more props if your body is asking you for them. The point of the prop is to hold you. The point of the prop is to give you support. So don't be afraid to use it. That is another huge way of which we limit ourselves from tapping into grace is to fight against asking for help or slowing down or easing out of something. We just try to push and force through. And so know that it's okay here to take a lesser depth. I promise you that your breathing will be a lot smoother, that you will be mindful within these moments when you're not at war with your body. Whenever you are feeling that battle, that resistance, or coming up against a wall or being blocked, bring your gaze inwards and notice, how are you contributing to stepping out of grace? And how can you just take those little shifts to let go of the fight and just simply be? Sometimes grace is an embodiment of how we move, and sometimes it's something we need to offer ourselves. It's an offering of it's okay to be resistant sometimes. It's okay to struggle with yin here on your mat. It's certainly not an easy practice. It's okay for your mind to wander. Grace is the invitation to just come back to that trueness of self, the one that we wrung out at the start of the practice, so that we can just be in our wholeness and our authenticity here. Without having to meet expectations or labels, we just simply get to show up. And grace can be that invitation back home. Slowly start to peel yourself away from your mat and from your props, coming back to a tabletop. Now, if you prefer to just stay in tabletop, that is totally okay. I really like down dog after child's pose, so you're welcome to stay here, or you can tuck your toes and float your hips up and just lengthen out the backs of your legs. This won't be a yin pose, so no worries there, but just a transition to create some movement and some opening in through the feet, through the backs of the legs, and alongside the spine. Setting up for swan, or what you might know as pigeon. On an inhale breath, float your right heel high to the sky. And then as you exhale, either from down dog or tabletop, bring your right knee towards your right wrist, right ankle to the left side of your mat. Before you lower down in this shape, walk your hands up towards your hips so you have this upright shape, and you'll notice if you're falling to either side. If you are falling to one side, it's a great place to just take a prop underneath that hip to hold you up. And then whenever you're ready, you're welcome to fold down to forearms. You can also use props to place underneath your forearms if the ground is far, or even underneath your forehead. Now I know for some of you, your hips and knees do not love pigeon or swan, so you are welcome to take deer. Simply sit onto your front hip and just bend your back knee around and off to the side. And like pigeon, you can fold forward anywhere over top of your shin or knee, or even off to the side over your thigh. Choose a depth or a variation that serves you and allows you space to move gracefully through the practice. Even for myself, this is something that I constantly come up against, of reminding myself it doesn't have to be a push. I don't have to get somewhere and go as deep as possible. That it's okay to just simply enjoy a moment without it having to be doing something. It's getting comfortable in just sitting with ourselves and our own company. So coming back to that beautiful, truest version of yourself to just sit with and get acquainted with, and perhaps to even love. And just like that suitcase that you visualized earlier, ask yourself the question, what am I willing to let go of to feel more free in this moment? What do you need to release to be able to show up fully? To be present, to be unbothered, to be a bright, shining light that has no bounds. Especially as you near the end of this pose, notice if parts of you have started to grip again. Fingertips start to curl in. If your face has started to tighten, eyebrows weave together, jaw clenched. And notice if your shoulders have started to creep up towards your ears. Can you just soften everything for a moment? Let go of that need to control, to hold, to tense, and just simply surrender. Take 5 more breaths. Now I'll leave this variation up to each of you of how you need to come out of this pose. Just start to walk your hands up. You can step back to down dog, that's my personal favorite. But if you prefer, if you're in deer or you just want to come onto your seat, You can scoop your back leg around and in front. Just wash your knees out. Eventually, you'll meet back either into tabletop or down dog for your next transition to the other side. So there's no rush. Whenever you're ready, left heel can float back behind you and open up if that feels okay. And then as you exhale, left knee will come towards your left wrist and left ankle to the right side of your mat. Remember that this is your practice and you're at home, and so there is a beauty and you can take as much time as you'd like. I think it offers us a space to really step into authenticity of our practice when we're not in a group environment beside each other. So really take your time and expression of this pose, whether you're lowering down or you're using props or you're bending your back knee for deer. Knowing that it really doesn't matter the times you need to restart or if you need to shift. This is just about finding some grace through this hour together. And gratitude for just simply having the time to be with the person you spend the majority of your life with, yourself. We give so much of our time outwards that we don't give that same effort to us. And so just to give that gratitude to be with you in this moment, even if it's not going according to plan. When we let go of those expectations, we let go a lot of the starts and stops, and we just kind of glide through that moment. See if you can allow yourself to embody that freedom or lightness or expansion, to just simply navigate the now, navigate the present moment. In today's class, you do have a lot of space in poses to sit with your thoughts, which is perhaps the most challenging part of this practice. And whenever you feel like you're getting stuck at a thought, or you're just circling back to it, like you're in a whirlpool, or what we call a vritti of the mind, bring your awareness back to your breath. Your breath is the anchor to the graceful rhythm that you have within. The rise and the fall. The expansion and the contraction. You don't have to worry about past breaths, and you don't have to anticipate future ones. You just simply move breath by breath and allow wherever you got stuck to fade away. Take 3 more breaths. Slowly transition out of your half pigeon or swan. You'll make your way to your seat. But if you feel like you need down dog, you're welcome to press back and take one final lengthening through your hamstrings and calves. Otherwise, you can just sit onto your left hip and bring your right leg around and in front. One final pose to close off with. Bring the soles of your feet together and knees splay out to the side wide. This can be really nice to take pillows underneath your knees to support you. And heels don't have to be all the way in. It's actually okay to have the heels further out, excuse me, which will be restorative. And you're just gonna simply start to fold over top of your legs. And this fold is with a rounded spine. So this will release some of the tension you're holding into your thoracic, your mid-back. If it feels like too much tension, you're welcome to lengthen out your spine a little bit. And you can also stack props in the space between your legs to rest your forehead. So you can stack books or blocks so that you have some support for your head and the back of your neck doesn't have to do any work to hold you up in your seated butterfly. Notice the sensation in the creases of your hips. If you're trying to hold up, can you let go? And if you feel like you can't let go, can you add more support for you to rest on? That it is okay to just simply rest in this practice. That grace is always there with you, but sometimes we're too busy to see it. And so to just take that pause and rest is again that invitation to just come back home to yourself. The invitation to just be at this natural, beautiful rhythm that you were born with. And just like the seasons go through cycles, there are cycles of life and birth and death and renewal, and we're going through them all the time. And to force them often creates those jarring moments. And so to rest is just to trust that you will be pulled through these cycles naturally and gently if you choose to surrender. If you have folded, just take your time to slowly come all the way back up. Leaning back, you can close your knees, or you can always take your hands to the outer edges of your knees and bring them together. We'll windshield wiper our knees on our backs. You can just slowly start to lower yourself down. Walk your feet wide and then just drop one knee through center at a time. Really focusing on that internal rotation of the hips. And roll to the big toe edge of the leg that's falling in. And with each movement, releasing tension as you get further and further through. If you need a final movement or pose before Shavasana, you are so welcome to take it. Otherwise, you can just gently start to bring yourself into Shavasana. Legs extended, hands down beside you. And just take a deep breath in through your nose, fill all the way up, and out through your mouth. Take a couple more deep breaths and allow the outside world to fade so that it's just you and your breath in importance. Finding grace doesn't mean that whatever you are going through in that moment is easy. It just simply means that you choose to surrender. And surrendering often has a negative connotation, like we're weak or we're giving up. But I urge you to consider how challenging it is for you to let go of the things that hold you back. How hard is it to surrender and release the limiting beliefs that you set on your life? The labels that you've placed on yourself, the not good enoughs. And then consider whether surrendering is giving up, whether it's weakness, or whether the act of surrendering is an act of courage and of strength. That to let go is to embrace change and loss, but also opportunity for what's ahead. To stop fighting against ourselves, our bodies, our minds, and just simply trust that we are exactly where we need to be in this moment. I'll leave you here for a minute in Shavasana. And I'll bring you out of this when we're all ready to close off together. Gently start to awaken your body, moving really, really slowly so as not to shock yourself into this new start, to gracefully move yourself out of Shavasana and back into your physical body, back into the rest of your night. And take your head side to side. You can curl your toes and your fingers, roll out wrists or ankles, giant stretch or curl in tight. There's no right or wrong. Bring your knees to your chest, whatever feels good. And then eventually, just bring yourself into a comfortable seat. No rush to land there. I do have a little something special today after practice. If you'd like to stay on, you're welcome to. You can also watch it later. It should be on the recording. So just whenever you're ready, you can just bring your hands to heart center and send some gratitude for yourself for just moving with your body, letting go of anything that causes you to feel like you're lugging yourself around, and just simply for trusting that you are important enough to deserve this time in your life. From the bottom of my heart. Namaste. So what I wanted to show you, I can actually show you through Zoom, which is really cool. Alana, you've actually seen this before. And if anyone has seen it, you definitely don't have to stay on. But it's called the Happiness Project. And it's all about gratitude. And it's just a really short video, but it's so wonderful.
True Earth is helping remove plastic waste while keeping your...
Sorry about that. And I believe it's just about, it's 7 minutes. So if you have 7 minutes, you're definitely welcome to watch it. I'll share my screen with it so that that will definitely help. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah? Okay, cool. So here is your happiness.
Wait. I was going to be so embarrassed.
Oh no.
What makes you happy? Having fun? Hanging out with friends? Delicious food? Making money? Well, consider this. Psychologists have scientifically proven that one of the greatest contributing factors to overall happiness in your life is how much gratitude you show. Yeah? Think about that. Go ahead and marinate on it for a second. You can thank me later if you want. It'll make you feel better according to this study. You go ahead and click on it and read it if you want. Or you can keep watching because we read it and we thought it might be fun to test out for ourselves. We gathered a selection of volunteers to act as our subjects. First, we gave them a test. They didn't know what we were looking for, but it gave us a pretty good idea of their current level of happiness. We asked them to close their eyes and think of somebody who was really influential in their life, somebody who did something really amazing or important for them. We had them write down as much as they could about why this person was so important. Now, a lot of them thought at this point the experiment was over, until we really put them on the spot and tried to get them to call that person and read what they wrote about them. Thank you, Jessica. We're going to have you call your mother. So who is that right person for you?
Person is my sister, Erica.
We're going to give Erica a call.
Okay.
Who'd you end up picking?
Friend of mine, Craig Ains. Her name is Dora.
My college accounting instructor.
Really? Is this somebody you're still in touch with today?
No, I'm assuming that he's passed on.
That's a
To the
shame.
great beyond.
You up for it?
Yes.
What would you say if we called up Dora?
Oh, well, we can try, but she lives in Britain.
In Britain?
Oh, no, never by heart. This is awful.
That's fine. I don't know my mom's number by heart.
If it's true that those who are going on are looking down on us, maybe he read my shit is scratch.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You got a second? Where you at, in the hotel?
I am. I'm in the hotel. You scared me when you asked if I had a second or something's wrong.
No, I'm on like this little TV show, and they told me to talk about the person that influenced me the most, and I picked you, and they're making me call you. They're making me call you.
Oh, wonderful.
Hi, you've reached Craig. I'm not here right now.
At the tone, please record your message.
Oh, come on.
Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
Erica. It's me.
All right, so I got to read you this paragraph. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead,
All right.
sweetheart.
All right. The person that influenced me the most would be my mother, Marlo Dawson. She is a single mother of 2. She is a very hard worker and dedicated to her family.
Hey Craig, this is Loie. This is going to be a funny little voicemail, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm so sorry for calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I have to read this to you, okay? And you can't say anything, or I don't know. You can respond, but I probably will just keep going. Okay?
Is everything okay?
Yes, but I have to read this out loud to you.
The person who has had the biggest impact on my life outside of Jesus Christ, who is responsible for my existence, was my college accounting instructor. He had a joy and enthusiasm for his job like no other teacher I have ever known.
I love her to death, and she keeps me going with positive talk. She is a woman that knows what she wants and won't give up until it is achieved.
Oh, something. I don't know what. I'm about to cry because it's so beautiful. I have to say that it's wonderful.
I first met Craig on an independent feature film set in Whitefish, Montana. I recently have been sending Craig a lot of positive thoughts as he suffered a series of health problems. Despite his medical problems, he's continued to work and take pleasure in the small things in life, like sitting quietly with his wife Janine on the porch.
Erica is my older sister and my best friend. Sometimes it even feels like we are twins. She's my #1 fan and my #1 supporter. She makes me happy because despite all my mistakes and my decisions, she still loves me no matter what.
Your friendship is everything. And you are one of the most important person in my life.
Even when she has a kid and many children, I will love her more than her kids. Okay, maybe not. I will never forget when she flew 3,000 miles at the drop of a phone call to save me from a breakup.
And being blessed by having a son like you. I love you.
Bye.
Why did you do this?
I don't know, because they made me do it.
Thank you for picking up. Bye, sweetie.
And then they're like, here, you're gonna write this letter. And then I wrote like this whole long ass letter, which, I like don't write. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna call her and you're gonna read her this letter. And I was like, what the?
Before we let them go, we gave our subjects one more happiness test. Now, we mixed up and rephrased the questions so they didn't know they were taking the same test twice. For those who took the time to actually write something down but couldn't make the phone call for whatever reason, we saw happiness increase between 2 and 4%. Good, but not exactly mind-blowing. Now, for those who actually picked up the phone and personally expressed their gratitude, we saw increases between 4 and 19%. So either way, expressing your gratitude will make you a happier person. But you want to know something really interesting? The person who experienced the biggest jump in happiness was the least happy person who walked in the door. What does that mean? That means if you're having a particularly tough time, trying this out will more likely have a greater impact on you. Trust me, I'm in a lab coat. In fact, while you're at it, film it and upload it to us, and we'll do something awesome with it. I'm Julian, and this has been The Science of Happiness.
Subscribe.
All right, you guys. So that's one of my absolute favorite videos. You should definitely check out Soul Pancake. They have tons of rad videos. I think they have Kid President on there. But that was one of the things that I ran a kind of 2-week long thing in March or April. Alana, who's on this call, was on it, and we asked everyone to write a letter to someone that they cared about and then read it on the phone. And it was really, really cool to hear everybody's what had transpired with what they said, and everyone said it made them feel amazing. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. And if you wanted to watch that again, it's The Happiness Project by Soul Pancake. Yeah. Anyways, I'll let you go now. Let you enjoy the rest of your night.